It's Panama Red limiting the great show on the near side. They're going to the line. Panama Red and Colin Keane, what a start. Tommy Jones is on the outside with Manuet Corday, an absolute ruler. Bunch finish and Tommy Jones in the centre. And Tommy Jones, Stone Age. It's 4 going to the line. Camora on the far side. Camora, Thunder Kiss and Forbearance Sir Water. It's Mason San Andreas. Mason storms half the card for Ger Lyons, 3 for Colin Keane.
I'm going to start by saying massive congratulations to you and the team, Ger. You must be over the moon.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It went by in a blur Saturday. We were up and down the stairs. Came home, Chris and I and the girls, and we just watched racing and enjoyed it on telly. I think caught up with it at the end of the day. But we're brought back down to normal with a big bump on Sunday.
Yeah, it's funny how it goes, isn't it? But back to Saturday, your first time racing for well over a year. What's all that about?
I've just no interest in going racing. I mean, my owners aren't there. There's no need for me to go and racing. The team are there. I mean, I went racing on Saturday, and I said, behave as if I'm not there, because do what you've been doing for the last 2 years without me, and it's been working. And leave them at it. I have a good team, so I'm good at delegating. I know that, but training, I get more done at home. When racing would be on normally, we'd be watching it and have the computer. We'd know where the next race is. We'd have the jockey report. I'd have the owners covered. Everything's done and dusted in half an hour. You think better. I think I'm a better trainer for it.
Really?
I do, yeah. I mean, even driving home from the Curry yesterday, I was thinking, what a waste of an hour.
But you've always been a really passionate supporter of Irish Champions Weekend.
Hugely, yeah. I think it's a huge weekend. Great initiative for the Irish team to put it on, and we have the best date on the calendar. There's tweaks I do with it. I don't think the sales race was up to standard this year. Personally, I would start at the Curry and finish at Leopardstown. Have the champions as the boom. It's Champions Weekend, and finish with the main event, and that's what personally I would do. It's sad to say, with 4 Group 1s on the Sunday, but it does feel a little bit like after the Lord Mayor's party, that sort of way. So I would build up to a huge Sunday.
That's interesting. It makes sense with the Champion Stakes being the official feature, I guess.
That's what I would do, because I think Saturday is the buzz, and no disrespect to Curry is what it is, but I mean, I would reverse it. But listen, if I tell you to do that, they'll do the complete opposite and probably bring it back to one day.
Bearing in mind you're such a fan of the weekend and Leopardstown, Saturday was a day that you really targeted with your best horses.
I targeted the weekend, the 16 race. I targeted the weekend. Just Sunday fell shy for me with the certain races. I made calls with certain horses that I got wrong, I'd say. Acanella should have gone for the Blanford. I was adamant I wanted to see her in the mile. Little bit of luck and running, she could have been in the 3. But now I've learned that she's not a mile, and we might go to the Breeders' Cup with her. That's she's a filly that has definitely turned a corner. I took the view with Thunder Kiss, not to go to Blanford and bring her back and try and win left-handed, and my own horse beat her. But that said, the horse that beat her 5 lengths the last day in Cork won the Blanford, so that's not a call I regret. I've loved a filly called Cordica Joe all year, but because she's a Camelot, I've been training her with next year in mind. And then I decided, in my wisdom, to take Juncture out of the picture for the Moyglaire and make a 10 furlong horse into a 7 furlong horse, and that was ridiculous in the extreme, and she told me that yesterday in uncertain fashion. So we've to put the wheels back in the wagon on that one, and I'd probably regret not running Juncture. But listen, that's racing, so we learn from it and try and build on it next year.
You're very hard on yourself.
Yeah, well, you have to, not hard, but you have to be realistic to make it how to make sure we do it right next year. Because I believe, like any training yard, especially if you're up at the top end of it over here, that's your weekend, and that's what you have to aim for. That's what you're judged on, to be fair.
And what about Saturday? Any particular highlight? Did any of those wins give you a special satisfaction?
Panama Red was great because I didn't think she was good enough to win at the moment, and she's one of those who doesn't. She's not fancy at home, as Sean Davis will testify. Atomic Jones, that was nice. he shouldn't be even running yet. So that's something to dream about for next year. The third one, Kimura, was a super ride by Gary Carroll. Super ride. Like, that horse he's just turned the corner. This is time of year. Will be much better with soft in the description. But a much improved horse. And sadly, he took out our own horse, Thunder Kiss, in winning that, but that's life. And then Mason, he was the best horse in the race, drawn out in the car park. Like, he would have been my banker if I could rely on his temperament. And he still won, you know. So I mean, if he comes my way and grows up a bit, he's potentially a very nice horse. So I was very relieved with him, but overall it was I was probably thinking one moment in, oh well, Jesus, that's the end of that. And then 2 went in, I said, well, that's it, done then anyway. And then when 3 went in, I went, I'll stop. So now, as long as they all pass the drugs test, I'll be happy.
And since I last came to see you here, you've really taken off. I mean, dual classic winning trainer now and huge owners in the yard. Do you now feel you're where you want to be?
Yeah, I'm comfortable where we are. I was in a mad rush to get here. And if I get the next 10 years of my life in this position, consolidate this position, I'll be very happy with where the career has gone.
And how much of it is due to your team here, Lynn, Colin, Kerry?
Nothing, it's all me. There wouldn't be anything without me.
I believe you.
No, it's good. Listen, to be fair, we've the best jockey riding for us, and that. Look at anybody who's had the best jockey riding for them, and they drag you along. You know, and when you've got the best lad riding for you, people might excuse you as a trainer and say, oh, we should put him there anyway because we have him, we've access to Colin, you know, so that's a huge asset to us, you know. But like from the top to the bottom, it's brilliant. It's Shane at the races, running 12 runners there, I think it was 12 at least on Saturday, and it was the logistics of it was brilliant, and they never missed a beat. Shane, Colin and Andrew organising all of that. Like, I left them to it, and they just kept producing them and pulling them out in the parade ring, and it's credit to them. And then the girls in the office, since you've been here with 2 girls in the office, Mary Lou and Hannah, and they're brilliant organising my life. And like, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It just, you know, I have somebody in place at every situation to make my life easier, and it allows me to train horses, which is all I want to do. I don't want to party, I don't want to be on a PR trail around the world promoting this or that or the other. I'm happy staying here, and they let me do that.
Let's talk a little bit about Sacred Bridge if we can. How's she doing?
She's great. Again, she's not a wow horse at home. She's very straightforward. If I've got a baby learning her job, Sacred Bridge can lead her. If I want to do, you know, anything with big piece of work, she'll do that. I mean, every day she went racing was, listen, she'll run well. And the only day I got a wow off her was the last day. I thought that was wow. That was a performance. I thought, Jesus, we have one that could be Group 1 horse.
So that's where she goes next, and then you might take her to America?
Yeah, why not? Her sister's doing well out there, Viadira. We all might be dead next year, so if she gets the Cheveley Park out of the way, you know, the owner I know will be delighted to do that, and we have the facility to do that. We haven't discussed it yet, in the sense that it's a decision that will only be made by the family. Anything to do with Juddmonte horses, it comes from the family, and we'll go where they want us to go ultimately. But we'd have to sit down and discuss the logistics of Delmar COVID-wise. You know, I mean, I don't know where we are. Are they back to normal? Are we back to normal? Or, you know, is it going to be more hassle than it's worth? So that's something we'll have to decide. But in a normal world, if she was lucky enough to win or run very well in the Cheveley Park, that's a discussion we'd have with everybody, and that could be an option.
Juddmonte have been a huge asset to you.
No stop. It's Christmas morning every day once they're in your yard. I mean, the thing I say to people about Juddmonte is they have set the bar in the world of racing for professionalism, how it should be done. They're a constant. You know, they're not lavish. They're not I don't know the right word for it, but if you want how it should be done, judgment is the how it should be done, and then to be chosen as one of their trainers, I take it as a huge compliment, and I'm just wake up every morning, I've got them in the air that'll do me.
What's your current biggest bugbear with racing? Anything really annoying you at the moment?
Bugbear?
Yeah.
Jeez, you don't have enough room. We don't have enough staff. There's not enough people in the industry coming into the industry, and ultimately the prize money on this side of the pond is pathetic. It's we keep having to sell our good horses to stay in the game, and we have to do that because of prize money, or the lack of prize money, and it bugs me because I heard an interview recently, yesterday I think it was, from one of the, if not the premier person in BHB or BHA, whatever it is, and she was asked, I think, the same question, and the answer was, we have to, the perception of people, I have to phrase it like that, the perception of people to the welfare of horses, what happens to these horses at the end of the career, etc., etc. If you think that's our biggest problem in racing, we're in trouble. You know, I mean, I'm sick saying it to anybody who listen. Stop worrying about these people. You know, perception is the one word that I got annoyed with in the lockdown in COVID, was perception. Wear a mask, perception. 2 meters apart, stand up, wear a mask. The cameras are there. The cameras. You know what I mean? Do it if it's the right thing to do. You don't do it for perception's sake. And if we have to keep apologising every time we go on telly, or explaining why we're washing a horse down, or explaining why this horse is going to go back and get treated like a lord, well, it becomes, well, what are you hiding that you have to keep apologising for? You know, so I mean, I think, and it starts at the top table, they need to cop on and just concentrate on the people who are doing it right, and then the rest will follow, and stop worrying about people who will never care about us anyway.
That's a good point. What have been your main highlights from this year? Have you enjoyed watching, for instance, Jim Bolger do well and things like that, away from your own success?
No, I don't care about other trainers doing well at all. I'll send them a text and congratulate them, but I don't mean it. The highlight of the year was 4-time Round Champions weekend. That was without question a highlight of the career, maybe.
Better than the classics?
No, but you know what I mean. It was a huge buzz on Saturday. It was hard. It was nearly unbelievable as it was happening to be, you know, thinking, Jesus. Now, don't get me wrong, we didn't win the Group 1, so it's not, you know, winning Siskin's Classic and the Oaks was a wow. But I mean, the thing about racing, and for me anyway, is we raced on Saturday and we had a huge day, and then we came back on Sunday and we had a terrible day. Saturday is history, and you have to pick yourself up after that. Last night was long and it was horrible. You just get on with it, but that's racing, you know, you're only as good as your last one.
Was there ever a time when you thought about doing something different with your career?
Every day, I'd say. No, listen, I'm 56 now. That day has passed. I'm unemployable, I'd say. I'm lucky that I work for myself and I can't sack myself. So, no, I mean, that day has passed. Listen, the things in the past, there are obviously times through your career you'd be going, why am I doing this? The staff situation is frustrating because I can't, or we can't as an industry, progress if there's nobody coming in to help us. I don't know what the answer is, because it's not money. It's not wages. It's just we don't have the youth who want to do this. You have to be passionate about it, but they're not. The youth aren't coming into the game the way they were when I was young. We've lost them, and I don't know how we're going to get them back. I genuinely don't know how we're going to get them back, because we're not as popular in people's minds as we were when I was, say, a kid. We're a long way from that, hugely a long way from that. I would say it's the industry's biggest problem.